outside the Mandir because tradition is that we perform these rituals on the outskirts of the Mandir or the home, and we pay honor and we remember our forefathers. So we begin by washing of the hands. Om Shri Hasta Prakshalanam Pratigrihitam. Support. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Support. Madhavaya Namaha. Shri Narayanaya Namaha. Wash hands. Shri Hasta Prakshalanam Pratigrihitam. Om Kushmule Sthito Brahma Kusha Madhye Janardana Kushagre Sarvadevanam Kusharajan Namostute Angule Om Shri. So I'd ask everyone to please stand. And you are going to take the names of your ancestors, your family members, those who you wish to be honored, and you take their name and their memory in your mind. Let us pray. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswate Namaha, Shri Guru Charana Kamalabhyo Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavastam Gatopi Va Yah Smarit Pundarikaksham Sabahya Vyantara Shuchihi. Om Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Om Tat Sat Adyah Shrimad Bhagavato Mahapurushasya Vishnuragnaya Pravitamanase Ashtavam Shatamakalyoge Kali Prathama Chadane Jambodvipe West Indies founded Trinidad Deshe Shri Couva Grame Couva Mandire Om Shri Mase Pakshay Tithau Nakshatre Dine Gotropannaha. You take the date and the time, please. Take your name, your family name. Namanah Kaik Vachasik Manasik Natak Natas Kaladoshi Parihartam Shrute Smriti Purano Praptartam Mate Shri Shri Mula Pinda Sapinda Pinda Shri Shodashi Pinda Danam Shradham Tarpanasya Shri Brahma Bhojanam Maham Karishi. Om Prithvi Tvayadrata Lokaha Devi Tum Vishnunadrata Tum Chadharya Mam Devi Pavitram Kuruchasanam. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Om Namo Bhagavate. So essentially, devotees, what we're about to do is do Pindadan, or the offering of Pinda, which is an instrument used to channel our devotion, our love, or prema or bhakti, into Bhagwan Shri Krishna's grace, from which he will transmit or transfer that offering based on our love, based on our, most importantly, our faith, to the realm of the ancestors, wherever they may be. So this is why it's called Shraad. Shraad comes from the word Shraddha, which means faith. So all offerings that we do must be done with faith. So it comes in different forms. We have Pindadan, which is one. Tarpan, which is the offering of water and the black till. Essentially, you can add rice and flowers and so on. Brahma Bhojan, which is the offering of food. And obviously we can also have Krishna Puja and Gita Path and all of these things. But all of them constitute Shraad. Shraad just means with faith we offer in name, in the honor, in the memory of our ancestors. So essentially, I'll just do a quick explanation before we have some wonderful bhajans and so on. We'd have 5 forms of Bhagwan Shri Krishna that we worship. Then you'd see the Bedi, which is symbolically divided into 2 parts. One part consists of 4 palm leaves, 4 koa leaves, or katahar leaves. Well, we call it katahar, I don't know what in Guyana they call it, koa, because they call shatain. Right, okay. So, these 4 is called sapinda, and the rest, the other 16 is called the shodashi. Shodash means spin. We'll continue after we settle down a little bit. So I'll pass you on to members of the group who lead us in a few bhajans.
Jai Jai जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः ध्यान भजन दशरथ करके मन में जाते नाम सिमर ध्यान भजन दशरथ करके मन में जाते नाम सिमर चरण चले पाए सहारा नया तेरे चरण कमल जय श्री वाणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः
दर्शन देजो आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन देजो तुम हो जगदपि दाता तुम हो जगदपि दाता आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन देजो आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन
Shraad Jai Krishna Hare Sri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare Jai 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 Krishna Hare Jai Krishna Hare Sri Hare
Prem se bole Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. So devotees, we join in our first Havan. This is to the Devatas. So for Devata Havan, we say the word what? Swaha. And for ancestral worship, Pitris, we say Swadha. So we say to the Devatas, we offer ghee and we recite Swaha. Take a pose. Choosing which part of the ghee. So we offer one drop each time and we say Swaha. Om Prajapataye Namaha Swaha. Om Indraya Namaha Swaha. Om Agnaye Namaha Swaha. Om Somaya Namaha. Om Bho. Om Bhuvaha. Om Swaha. Om Vishnave Namaha. Om Shivaya Namaha. Om Yamaya Namaha. Om Sumarajaya Namaha. Om Havyavahaya Namaha. Om Kavyavahaya Namaha. Om Kalaya Namaha. Om Rudraya Namaha. Om Purushaya Namaha. Om Pretaya Namaha. Om Vishnave Namaha. Om Brahmane Namaha. Om Shivaya Namaha. Om Tatpurushaya Namaha. Om Sarvadevata Sarvadevi Brahmanebhyo Namaha Swaha. For water. Om Sarva Papaharam Divyam Achmanyam Maya Dattam Grihana Parameshwaraha. So, sit down everyone. Sit down everyone. I just want to make sure that everybody here and awake and jumping will be during this period of Pitr Paksh. I hope that you all are reaching home before 6 o'clock and you're walking home, the moon walking back home backwards and all of these things, right? So the period of Pitr Paksh is essentially a 15 lunar day or lunar Advent, lunar Tithi event which occurs once every year. And it is a period set aside for the worship or the honoring of our ancestors in a way that, as I mentioned earlier, involves faith. Now, there are many different ways people can do this honoring. Many people, as we say, take out food. We do that every day, by the way. Take out food for yourself, take out food for your husband, all these kind of things, right? So, the offering of Brahma Bhojan, or food, in honor of the ancestors. And one of the practice as well is the offering of Tarpan, or Tilanjali, in a process called Tarpan, which is the offering to the kush grass, which we'll do in a little while, and we'll have an idea of how it's done in a full way. Essentially, you would see many different items offered onto this baby, as it were. Some people like to refer to it as a head and a body. It's not really that. So you'd see one pinda set aside that is in honor of those ancestors whose rites and rituals may not have been properly performed. So that one single spherical pinda is offered there. And 4 pindas, which represents Sapinda. Sapinda is for any particular ancestors that we would have known. The first represents the departed, and the next 3 represents 3 generations, which we say, or we assume, reside in Pitrilok. Why 3, and why not more? Think about it. How many of us remember 4th generation? So, 3 generations beyond our last deceased. That's the most that probably affects us in a particular way, or that we could probably remember, or family could remember. So those 3 are represented there. So the particular deceased and 3 others, those are represented there. And we have 16 offerings. There are different ways the Guru Quran mentions these 16 to represent. If you are doing Madhyam Shodeshi, which is the middle Bandhara, when someone passes away, you have the Bandhara, or what we call Bandhara, which is really Shraad. That 16 different ways to check that. One of the ways is that there are 10 pindas for the 10 days until the shaving, correct? Because how many days are there? There are 10 days. And 6 for the funeral day. Well, 5 for the funeral day itself, and 1 when you offer at the ashes. When you go and collect the ashes, you offer 1 there as well. So those 16 are collectively known as that Shodashi, Madhyam Shodashi. And if you're doing Uttam Shodashi, which is the 1 year Bandhara, as we say, again there are different ways of checking it, but 1 represents 12, representing the 12 lunar months, and 4 what we call Ritu Pinda, which are seasons, the 4 seasonal Pinda. So those represent those 16 offerings. And it is supposed to encapsulate all that we want for our ancestors, and by extension, those things that we want for us. Those things that we want for us. So, anyone can tell me what are some of the offerings that we do on the pindas? You could just watch it and see.
Flowers.
Really? Yeah, flowers is one. So we offer Durva grass, representing what? The perennial nature of the human spirit, always regenerating, always evergreen, always that strive for being perfect, strive for protection, for perfection. One of the offerings is water, representing, as we know, that Atma may need water or sustenance in some way or some fashion. So we represent that. It doesn't mean that the soul comes and drinks the water. It doesn't mean that physically. And we offer, one of the offerings is cotton, which represents clothing or protection, protection of the body, protection of that Atma, protection of myself and my family. Another offering is what we call Udana Charanam, which is the offering of the sheep here. Sheep here, we offer that as well. That represents that extra level of protection that is required in that realm which we don't know. We have never experienced, anybody ever went to Pitrilok and come back? Tell us how it is? No. There are some recommendations that are there in the Guru Quran, yes. However, that sheep here represents that. That's why it's specifically used for this puja. It represents the idea that there is this unknown realm that may exist where we have this extra level of protection that we ask. And that represents that. We have the Kongolala grass, or shrub. I don't know if it could be termed a grass, it's more a shrub. This obviously represents medicinal aspect, but it also represents the fact that this can grow anywhere, in the best of places, and also in the worst of places. You see it in the drains and so on as well. It represents that this Atma could have taken existence in an environment that we don't know, but we still ask that it thrives. And then we have various other offerings, offering of traditionally we use sohari and sweet rice. That's a traditional offering of naivedyam, or food, because obviously we want that Atma, in whatever body it inhabits, to have nourishment. Nourishment in whatever form. It doesn't only mean food only, because the body needs more than food to survive. The body needs air and shelter maybe, and all of those things, but shelter is also represented by the cotton and so on. So these are the various offerings, and to allay the fears of many people who are afraid of, there are questions like, should I go to the beach during Pitru Paksh? And, you hear that? You shouldn't go to the beach, you should know what else? You should be in your house by 6 o'clock. If you're working shift, you're going to stay in work. What else? Walking backwards, walk with garlic, all these kind of things, right? Devotee, I personally don't like garlic as a scent on me, all the time. So there are various traditions that are based on trying to get us to do the right thing. Trying to get us to do the right thing. Telling you that you have to be home by 6 o'clock was as a way to tell you to be home early, because this period we're supposed to have at the forefront of our minds those who would have left, those who would have sacrificed, those who would have given an input in our life and our society as a whole. So we're supposed to direct our attention towards that. And I'm happy to say that, in my opinion, some of the taboo has been kind of quelled. And people are now getting an understanding of what it is to do Pitri offerings. That is a debt that we have. Not only as Hindus, as people, we have a debt to those who would have come before. Think of it. They paved the way for us. But not Wasa, I'm just talking about. They would have paved the way for us. They would have provided us with the opportunity for where we are today. We are only as successful as the sacrifices that our forefathers made. Understand that? We as a people, we as an individual, we are only as successful as the sacrifices our forefathers made. Our parents, our grandparents, who came upon this land, who came from India, and even in India and Bangladesh, we are only as successful as they allowed us to be because of their sacrifice. So we have that debt to repay, and we do that every year by this performance. So we'll continue a little bit after. We'll read a shloka from the Gita, because we'll offer the Srimad Bhagavad Gita as one of our offerings, and then we have a little. So we continue with offerings, and again you observe the offerings, and we'll have a few more bhajans from members of the group. Prem se bole Vrindavan Bihar Wali ki.
प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, 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 प्रभु जी मेरे आओ। भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम, ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम। भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम, ये दुनिया है प्रभु तुम्हारा, भजले गोविंदम। प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, 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 प्रभु जी मेरे आओ। प्रभु तुझे कोई न जाने, प्रभु तेरे प्रभु कोई न जाने, आप मुरली अपनाओ, जाओ अपनाओ, प्रभु तेरे आओ, आप मुरली अपनाओ, जाओ अपनाओ, प्रभु तेरे आओ। भजले गोविंद भजले गोविंदम, ये दुनिया है भक्ति माया, भजले गोविंदम, भजले गोविंद भजले गोविंदम, ये दुनिया है भक्ति माया, भजले गोविंदम। मेरे आओ प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, 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 प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
संसार में जब ठुकराया, तब द्वार तेरे प्रभु आया। मैंने तुझे कभी ना ध्याया, तूने सदा सदा अपनाया। संसार में जब ठुकराया, तब द्वार तेरे प्रभु आया। मैंने तुझे कभी ना ध्याया, तूने कितनी बार जगाया। संसार में जब ठुकराया, संसार में जब ठुकराया, कानून नीर में सोया, शुभ अवसर हाथ से खोया, शुभ अवसर हाथ से खोया। जब रूठ रही थी माया, तूने कितनी बार जगाया। संसार में जब ठुकराया, जग में सब कुछ था तेरा, मैं कहता रहा मेरा मेरा, मैं कहता रहा मेरा मेरा। अब अंत समय जब आया, मैं मन ही मन पछताया। संसार में जब ठुकराया, तब द्वार तेरे प्रभु आया। मैंने तुझे कभी ना ध्याया, तूने सदा सदा अपनाया। संसार में जब ठुकराया, तब द्वार तेरे प्रभु आया। संसार में जब ठुकराया,
कृष्ण जिनका नाम है गोकुल जिनका नाम ऐसे श्री भगवान को ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है बारंबार प्रणाम
So devotees, we now have the offering of tarpan, which is essentially black till and water, but according to your own traditions, you can add, as you want, rice and tulsi leaf and flowers and so on. So, this hand, first offering like this. So there are various ways in which we perform tarpan. The simplest one is to face south and offer through the pitri tirth. So portions of the hand, if you look at your hand, look at your right hand. Not your right hand, Shanti. Alright? Because you look at your hand, your right hand. That's the hand she's right with. So that's your right hand. W-R-I-T. Okay, so if you look at your right hand, you would notice several things, right? Let me see those of you who see money. You see the M? Stands for money? Okay. If you see the M, then that stands for money. Everybody's supposed to have an M. Some derivative of an M. A W for worries? Okay. So in the palms of your hand, this is where we make offerings. The tips of our fingers, we say we offer to the devatas. So anytime you offer like this to the devatas. And you face which direction? Which direction you face when you do your puja? East. So offering easterly, we offer to the tips of our fingers, we offer east to the devatas. So tarpan doesn't only mean offering to the ancestors. So let's clear that first of all. Tarpan can be offerings to the devatas as well. And in fact, in the olden days, the saints and sages, they would go into the water when Surya Devata arises, and they would offer like that, from the tips of the fingers to Surya Bhagwan. So the tips of the fingers represents that. The portion here, this portion here represents the rishis, the Sapta rishis, that would have come and gone and so on. So they deserve a special place in our offering. This portion here, which is called the Pitri Tirth, the portion between our thumb and first finger, this is offering in honor of the ancestors. By the way, the offering to the rishis offer you face north. Finally, to the offering to Yamraj and to the Pitris, we offer south, and we offer to this portion of our hand. And there is one other offering to the base of the hand that we offer where? To yourself, right? So this is where we would sip water. I don't know how many of the younger ones would know how it is like to drink water from a standpipe or a trough in school. Now it's bottled water. So this is how we used to drink water, long time. You do so on a red ready person, you will cup the whole hand. This is the portion where we drink. So this represents where divinity resides. It resides in the devatas. It resides in the rishis, the great ones. It resides in the pitris, the ancestors, and it also resides within us. But obviously we wouldn't drink the water here, right? So we do 3 offerings facing east, and there's also a tradition that you're supposed to kneel in a particular way when you're offering, and so we won't go through all of that. And also in the those who wear janeo, you're supposed to have it to the devatas across this way, from left shoulder, when they offer to the rishis and munis, they wear it as a kanti across their neck and facing north. And to the pitris, if we are doing our offerings to our ancestors, we wear the jinning this way. So this is why you find most of them doing it biaba, right? So that they would be able to change their jinning according to how they offer. So you see, even though every year we do this, I'm sure every year you learn something, all right? So anyone can tell me how do you knot the kush grass and why do we knot the kush grass?
I do not know.
Anybody, just offer any, you can't have a wrong answer, right? It's just your perception of it.
To keep all the grass together.
To keep all the grass together. Yeah, that's a practical reason for what. Why would we want to keep all the grass together? To
Keep whatever's in there. So
to
when
keep
you're
whatever is
finished,
there. Yeah, that's
release it.
good. So there's a philosophical explanation for it in that the kush grass represents all our ancestral beings, right? So it says kush mule stiku brahman. Brahman resides at the base of the kush grass. Kush mul means the root. So this is why we normally have a kush grass with a piece of root in it. And that's why we put it there. So it represents, now there are many people who say, you know, if I do offering to my father, I plant one kush grass, and if I do offering to multiple ancestors, I have to plant multiple kush grass. Is it true? You can do it on one kush grass. So it represents, one of the explanation is that it represents the various ways in which our ancestors, the various pathways they may choose, diverging. All of us may come from one source, but they diverge in different directions. Some we know, some we don't. And what we do is we bring all of them together and knot them there. So it's an offering to all of these. All of the devatas wherever they reside, all of the ancestors wherever they reside, all of the rishis wherever they reside. So we bring them together. So symbolically it's that. So you don't need 2 and 3 kush grass planted. You can do it on 1 kush grass. And you just mention their name. Alright? So I will allow a little time for questions and so on after, so anybody can knot it. You know how to knot it? Do you think so? Okay, we'll try. Or if you want to.
Reside at the middle.
Yeah, closer to the middle. Good. Beautiful. Pull it out, pull it out. So this is essentially how we knot it traditionally. Good, so we leave that thing there and we offer. So, Larry, you'll just pour the water for him. Take the lota. So you face east first. And you offer through the tips of the fingers. And we say triptyatam. And you offer. So you just continually offer. And he will just tip it as, no, don't go in front. One side. So you just continually offer and he will, one side. This side. Come on this side. Right. Yeah. And this side. Om Brahma Triptyatam, Om Vishnu Triptyatam, just a little bit, not too much. Om Rudra Triptyatam, Om Prajapate Triptyatam, Om Deva Triptyatam, Om Chandamasi Triptyatam, Om Veeraj Triptyatam, Om Rishya Triptyatam, Om Puranacharya Triptyatam, Om Gandharvas Triptyatam, Om Itvaracharya Triptyatam, Om Samvatsarah Triptyatam, Om Devyai Triptyatam, Om Apsara Triptyatam, Om Devanugrah Triptyatam, Om Nagas Triptyatam, Om Yaksha Triptyatam, Om Parvata Triptyatam, Om Sagara Triptyatam, Om Sarita Triptyatam, Om Manushya Triptyatam, Om Rakshasi Triptyatam, Om Pisacharya Triptyatam, Om Suparna Triptyatam, Om Bhutani Triptyatam, Om Pashavas Triptyatam, Om Vanaspate Triptyatam, Om Aushre Triptyatam, Om Bhutan Triptyatam. Take the next lota water. These are to the rishis. Well, no, it's still same direction. Same way up. Same direction. Same direction. No, same exactly. Om. No, exactly what it is, right? Om Marichas Tripitam, Om Atris Tripitam, Om Angiras Tripitam, Om Pulasya Tripitam, Om Pulahas Tripitam, Om Kretu Tripitam, Om Vashishtas Tripitam, Om Prechata Tripitam, Om Bhiku Tripitam, Om Narara Tripitam. Alright, now face north. Okay, so these are the rishis. I should actually have separated them. Those what I mentioned are the Divya rishis, and these are the Divya Manushya rishis. These are the ones who actually would have come to the earth and dwell within us and so on. These are the ones that we offer now through here. Right? No, you can use both hands. Both hands. Both hands like this. Yeah, just break it on it. Right? Good. No, well, no, then fall down. That was fall down. Use it as it was before. Om Sanakas Tripitam, Om Sanandas Tripitam, Om Sanatanas Tripitam, Om Kapilas Tripitam, Om Asuris Tripitam, Om Vodu Tripitam, Om Pashikava Tripitam. All up. Now we face south. And we can put the pushgrass from thumb to thumb. And you're offering on the right side. To Yamraj, however you want to do, just face out. Om Yamaya Namaha, Om Dharmarajaya Namaha, Om Nityave Namaha, Om Antakaya Namaha, Om Vaivasvataya Namaha, Om Kalaya Namaha, Om Sarvabhutakshaya Namaha, Om Aurammaraya Namaha, Om Dadnaya Namaha, Om Nilaya Namaha, Om Parameshte Namaha, Om Vikrodharaya Namaha, Om Chitraya Namaha, Om Chitraguptaya Namaha. Okay, so now we're going to offer empty it out. Empty it out. Now they're going to offer to their particular ancestors. So they will take whoever is alive. I don't want to do it. We don't want to do it generalized because everyone would have different aspects of their family members who are alive. So we don't offer to those that are alive. We offer to those who would have departed. So you offer first, then you offer him, and you say whoever is departed, and no, yeah, you offer to him first, and so on. So we'll have continue with some more offerings from members of the group. Some more legends, offering of legends.
Hari Hari Govinda Bol Rimanava Hari Hari Govinda Bol Hari Hari Govinda Bol Rimanava Hari Hari Govinda Bol Hari Hari Hari
Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki. So devotees, we have the offering of the Bhagavad Gita, an essential part where we recite a few verses of the Bhagavad Gita, one or two, and we try to make sense of what death is and so on. So let us close our eyes and bow our heads as we offer this Bhagavad Gita to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ श्री भगवद्गीता ध्यानम् ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् त्वाम् अनुसन्धरामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लाडविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैर्णपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणै ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सशुधिर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणीन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः हरि ओम प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहार लाल की जय श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय So for the flowers and so on by Lord Krishna, the rice, and so just tilt it on the forward. And okay, so open the Bhagavad Gita to a page that we feel people need to hear this morning. Okay. So he has chosen a portion from chapter 3. Okay. So this is we'll start at the top of chapter. This is Shloka 26. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita, those of you, I see many of you have your Bhagavad Gita, which is good. You have it on PDF as well, you can really have it on your phone. I sent it on the group chat already, but if you don't have it, that's fine. Okay, so let's chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Shri
Krishna Sharanam Mama
अज्ञानं कर्मसङ्गिनां दोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि देवानुक्तसमाचरन् श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम 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 प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. So we look at Shloka 26. Someone, anyone to read? I must have the microphone set. Chapter 3, Shloka 26.
A wise man established in himself should not unsettle the mind of the ignorant attached to action, but should get them to perform all their duties, duly performing his own duties.
Duly performing his own duties. Now buddhi bhedam. A wise man, buddhi, right? Someone who is endowed with intellect, who has understanding, who appreciates the severity or the situation. Someone who has that understanding, who is established in the self, meaning one who has complete control of the indriyas, the mind and the senses, and one who is also understands his own divinity at all times. A wise man. So basically he gives a definition of a wise man. One who is established in the self. So a wise man who is one established in the self. This is why we as Satya Sanatanists, we always speak about the self. And we speak about self-realization, not finding God. Not going to some heavenly realm or some hellish existence, but what? What? God, that divinity being realized. And remember the difference between realizing and finding? Finding, we find something that was lost. But we realize something that is already there. Good? So we can only find something if it is lost or if it is away from us. But we realize something that was always there with us, but it is just because of our intellect we were not able to find. So he says the mind, the wise man, na buddhi bhedam janayet, who is established in the self, ajnanam, karma sanghinam. Karma sanghinam means somebody who is attached to karma. One who is ignorant, ajnanam, the one who is ignorant, the one who does not know, the one who does not fully appreciate, the one who does not grasp fully. It says, don't unsettle that person's mind. Don't unsettle them. Don't try to, in other words, do not try to teach them more than their capacity allows. Think of a child. Are you going to tell a child about the nature of the self? Are you going to tell the child the electrons and molecules and those laws of physics, Newtonian laws of physics and Einsteinian theory of relativity? Are you going to teach a child that? Why? Why we don't do that? Because they do not have the capacity as yet, to fully grasp that, to fully understand that. And he mentions, to the one who is ignorant, do not unsettle their minds by things which they are unable to grasp yet. And this is for all of us in spiritual realm, who are spiritual seekers. All of us are spiritual seekers. Some of us have reached a stage of spiritual development which we don't require certain things. But that does not mean that we should condemn those who do. So he says, one who is establishing karma, who is establishing action. Why should we condemn those who do puja? Why should we condemn those who want to offer their Shri Ganesh Murti, we shouldn't condemn them. But what we should do, we should always, and he says, the next part here, get them to perform their duties. If you are attached to duties, make sure they do the right duties. Make sure that they are guided correctly. Because not all of us have the capacity to understand certain things. Let me see, those of you consider yourself great chefs. Who's make a good chana now? Make a good chana now? Mohib? Somebody else, you could have a volunteer here to help you.
Curry is not my special.
Curry is not my specialty either. So, someone who feels that they are a good cook or a good chef. Who are some great chefs you all know? And always watch Food Network. Do like what they don't know. Or late in the night when they're watching and they're feeling nippish. Well, we have more here, but some of the great chefs, so you all see Bobby Flay?
Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay, yes. Bobby Flay and who else? Chef Shraad, I don't know who's that. Rachel Ray, right? 30-minute meals. All of those things. So now they produce something that maybe our grandmother might make better. I remember this, the one who was accused recently of being making some racist statements. She's a southern, what's her name? Anyway, so she was making this thing. She called it some melangin something or eggplant something. Where she this is what she did, and it was so amazing to everybody. She oiled the baigan, put some slits in it. It was so amazing, and put garlic inside that. Amazing. And roasted it. You know, I saw that episode, she made baigan choka. Okay? But obviously she didn't call it like that. But because of their qualification and their popularity, we respect them as such. Because they are versed in the field. We may not have that technical understanding of food and flavor and taste profile and so on, but we know what tastes good. In the same way, someone who is attached to karma, they may not fully appreciate or fully understand the divinity and that all-pervading reality and Vedanta. But what they can do is they can do this to the best of their ability, and gradually they will get to it. All of us are faced with that. So he says, don't unsettle their minds. Don't try to, hey boy, you stupid, you still doing that? Or you do. No. That's their stage. We try to get them to do the correct actions. Guide them in such a way so that they understand. In the same way, if you believe that Pitri Paksh is a time when Bhut and Pisaches follow your home, well, maybe that's your level of understanding. But if we believe that evil doesn't exist really, because if evil exists, then we deny the presence of God. Because God is all-pervading. And if God is all-pervading and we say that evil exists, then God cannot be all-pervading, which means that God is not God. Think of it logically. If God is all-pervading, means He pervades, or the divinity, that divine entity pervades every iota of creation, every molecule, every nucleus of every molecule God pervades. Where can evil exist? Evil cannot exist. And if we give credence to the existence of evil, then we say that God does not exist there, because darkness and light cannot exist in the same place at the same time. So devotees, let us understand that. This is what he says. And he says, Prakrite kriya manani gunehi karmani sarvashah. Ahamkara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. In the next shloka. It says, all actions are performed by the modes of Prakriti, your gunas, your the physical existence, how you are, your essential nature. All actions you do is governed by that. If you are offering to the Lord and you're puhar by nature, your offering will be puhar too. Not so? Language. You know what puhar means, right? Puhar. Labhisar. If that is your guna, that is your existence, and you don't want to come out of that, your offerings will be like that too. But those who take pride in essence and beauty and offering, and they have that divinity, that devotion, their offerings will be like that as well. So he says, the fool who is deluded by ahamkar, ego, the I-ness, that I do, and that self-pride, thinks I am the doer. You think that you do. When in fact, who does? Who's the doer? Who's the karta? The karta is Bhagwan, Brahman. Brahman does, through the instrument that is I, which is also Brahman, offers to Brahman. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmapnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaivati Nagantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. It means that the offering into the fire, the ladle that offers into the fire, the ghee that is offered into the fire, the person that does the offering, who you offer it to, all of that is Brahman. So, that being said, we must understand that not everybody is at the same level of spiritual upliftment and spiritual growth and spiritual development. And we treat each person in accordance with your own guna and your own spiritual ability. So, this is sometimes a challenge for us, because when we are faced with a congregation, consists just like a teacher walks into a classroom. Everybody likes something else. Somebody, they only studying food. Right? They only studying what the mother pack, what's inside the lunch kit. Next one studying play. They just can't wait to get outside and play and run. Next one studying, them just want to get out of there, want to reach back home fast, studying cartoon. Everybody has their own little things that goes on. But our job as spiritual seekers is not only for ourselves, but for others as well in a congregation. So this is why today, and many of the times that you congregate here, we will try to learn something together, all of us. And all of us elevate spiritually. Maybe not at the same pace, maybe not at the same state, at the same level, but definitely all of us should always improve and uplift ourselves. Okay? Prem se bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. So devotees, today we pay homage to our ancestors in whatever way, and everything that we own in life, this has been my philosophy. It comes from Bhagwan, comes from the Lord. So this is why if you buy a piece of tool, if you buy a phone, if you buy something, offer that to the Lord first. Say Bhagwan, Jai Bhagwan, or go rest it by your puja area, nothing wrong with that. And also say a prayer for your ancestors, because it is through their sacrifice that we are here. If we think locally, or the sacrifice of our forefathers who came and cut cane, some of us worked in the citrus and cocoa, some of our ancestors, and they would have struggled. All of them. No one came here because they were living a happy life in India. Bear that in mind, huh? No one came here with a bundle of wealth and came and set up shop. Everyone who is successful today is as a result of the sacrifices of our forefathers who came. And we must never ever let that go to waste. Always do things in their memory. Because just as they left, they came here with nothing, they left with nothing as well. Huh? All of us will leave with nothing. None of us will leave with any of the things that we consider ours, mine, my house, my land, my children, my clothes, my jewelry. None of it. My 85-inch TV that I'm so proud of. Even my skills and ability, those are also leave. So we just sing a bhajan in memory of them. Bhajan says, "Koi knowledge jai hai, dhanabhand ke ghariya." No one leaves this world with a bundle of wealth. When we go to the funeral pyre, we go empty-handed. We नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, तो कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया। जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, उलट गए दोनों नैन पतरिया, उलट गए दोनों नैन पतरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया। मार ही सूता प्राण निकाले, मार ही सूता प्राण निकाले, प्राण लुकाई कोठरिया कोठरिया, प्राण लुकाई कोठरिया कोठरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, ओ कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया। Lord, in the 4 parts of time, I did not think of you. Now that it is time for me to go, I wish not to leave. चार प्रहार मिले का सुसावे, चार प्रहार मिले का सुसावे, भूख दिया जैसे बन के लकड़िया, भूख दिया जैसे बन के लकड़िया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, ओ कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया। Listen, O wise one, the poet Kabir says, कहत कबीर सुनो भई साधु, कहत कबीर सुनो भई साधु, छूट गए सब महल उतरिया, छूट गए सब महल उतरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, ओ कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, ओ कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया, ओ कोई नाले जय धन भान की घटरिया। प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So we have one more bhajan by members of the group while we get prepared for Hawan.
Jai Gopi Jana Vandana
Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki. Right, so we now have Havan to Yamraj first and to Pitri, so we offer in this way. Oh, and we say what? Swadha. ॐ यमाय नमः स्वधा ॐ धर्मराजाय नमः स्वधा ॐ मृत्यवे नमः स्वधा ॐ अन्तकाय नमः स्वधा ॐ वैवस्वताय नमः स्वधा ॐ कालाय नमः स्वधा ॐ सर्वभूतक्षाय नमः स्वधा ॐ औडम्बराय नमः स्वधा ॐ दध्नाय नमः स्वधा ॐ नीलाय नमः स्वधा ॐ परमेष्टिने नमः स्वधा ॐ विक्रोदराय नमः स्वधा ॐ चित्राय नमः स्वधा ॐ चित्रगुप्ताय नमः स्वधा ॐ काव्यवानलपितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ सोमसरापितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ यमाय नमः स्वधा ॐ आर्यमापितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ अग्निश्वतापितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ सुकालिनापितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ सोमपापितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ वरिष्ठरापितराय नमः स्वधा ॐ आजपापितराय नमः स्वधा. When you take the names of your ancestors, just do 5 offerings, and whichever you do, and you say swudha. 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 2 more shares. 2 more. Swudha. For all, Om Sarvapitraya Namaha Swudha. ॐ सर्वपापहरं दिव्यं गाङ्गेयं निर्मलं जलम् आचमन्यं मया दत्तं गृहाणा परमेश्वरः. On the smoke, east, west, north, south, up and down. ॐ वनस्पतिरसोद्भूतो गन्धाद्यो गन्धोत्तमः आग्रह सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम्. Everyone reach forward, take the blessings, ancestral blessings, my body 3 times. Prem se bole Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai. So we'll have one bhajan while we get prepared. I'll explain one final part and then we'll have take.
Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari Panduranga Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Panduranga Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Hare Mukunda Murari Panduranga Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Panduranga Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare Hare Ram Jai Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Vittal Vittal Panduranga Rama Krishna Hare 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 Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radha Madhav Radhe Shyam Radha Madhav Radhe Shyam Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Vallabh Sita Ram Sita Vallabh Sita Ram Radha Mukund Radhe Shyam Radha Mukund Radhe Shyam Radha Mukund Radhe Shyam Radha Mukund Radhe Shyam Radha 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 Radha
Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki. So devotees, what we now have is the putting together of all the pindars. Alright? This is, a lot of the rituals are traditional, some of it is traditional. But the Sapindi part, which is the four cylindrical, if you want to call oval shaped pinda, the first one, remember, it represents any particular departed that you're doing your rituals for. So this is a learning process for us all. What we do is we cut it into 3 parts. We take the other 3 generations, so you'd see that it put it in his hand, punch a hole in. Honey, which is said to be the greatest purifier, remember it was found that the good honey was still found in the graves of the pharaohs. Take the first piece and join it together with that. Make it into one. So in other words, that particular individual, if you are doing it for a particular individual, they join the ancestral realm. This is the symbolic joining of the pinda. So whenever anyone performs these rituals for any of the ancestors, that particular individual will be automatically invoked as well. So the second one, same thing. The second piece, join it. Put it together. Third piece now. And now we need all of them into one particular pinda, and it is, as we say, dissolved, but it's not really dissolved because you can't dissolve it directly. It's broken up and placed into the water, which will then be taken to the either the sea, I think most of the time go to Kalibi, or running water in a river. And there are many different ways. I know some of you all may look at and see, well, okay, put a white cloth first. The reason I do that is because it makes this part easier. You know, it obviously has dirt and so on under it, so it's easier for us to put together now. And so there are various ways persons do it. It's not to say it's a hard and fast rule in a particular manner, right? There are recommendations, yes, but make it a little bit. Okay, so someone just put the bucket in. Okay, I'll just hang the bucket there in front of them. Okay, and we technically invoke all the body parts, so we offer to the head. Make it to the one. Good. So offer to head, the ears, both ears, the right ear first, left ear, both eyes, both nostrils, throat, arms, heart, navel, legs, and bow, and the feet. And this, so it's returned to the elements. It's a symbolic returning to the elements from the instrument or the instruments that we use for our Shraad. Okay, so I hope that some of the explanations would have been to your liking. I would answer questions if you all have. But again, we have next week and then other times as well. So I hope that we have a little appreciation for these things. Alright? So let's start one bhajan and we'll get prepared for Aarti. So one short kirtan.
चित चोरा यशोदा की बाल नवनीत चोर गोपाल चित चोरा यशोदा की बाल नवनीत चोर गोपाल 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 यशोदा की माँ नवनीत जोड़े गोपाल यशोदा यशोदा की माँ नवनीत जोड़े गोपाल 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 गोवर्धन गोपाल हे गिरिधर गोपाला हे गिरिधर गोपाला हे गिरिधर गोपाला कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाला कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाला कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाला यशोदा यशोदा की माँ नवनीत जोड़े गोपाल यशोदा यशोदा की माँ नवनीत जोड़े गोपाल नवनीत जोड़े गोपाल नवनीत जोड़े